Section 1.1 Overview of IPPF. Section 1.1 will be divided in 5 subsections. In the first subsection, we will try to understand the place and purpose of the IIA's mission of internal audit. In the second subsection, we will have a broader look at the structure and elements of IPPF. In the third subsection, we will try to understand the definition of internal auditing. In the fourth subsection, we will try to demonstrate the core principles. And in the fifth subsection, we will have a look at the purpose, authority, and responsibility of the internal audit activity. Let's get started. Mission of internal audit. As per the IIA, the mission of internal audit is to enhance and protect organizational value by providing risk-based and objective assurance, advice, and insight. IIA's website describes the mission of internal audit as a statement which articulates what internal audit aspires to accomplish within an organization. Its place in the new IPPF 2017 is deliberate, demonstrating how practitioners should leverage the entire framework to facilitate their ability to achieve the mission. Note the focus on leveraging the entire framework for the purpose of achieving the mission, highlighting the central and overarching nature of the mission statement. In simple terms, this is why we perform internal audit, to achieve the mission. That's the whole and sole purpose. That's the ultimate objective, right? Okay. Now that we have established the importance and place of the mission, let's dive in to look at the other two elements of the IPPF, which are mandatory guidance and recommended guidance. Section 1.1.2 Structure and elements of IPPF. Let's unwrap IPPF. The International Professional Practices Framework is the conceptual framework that organizes authoritative guidance promulgated by the IIA for internal audit professionals worldwide. Have a look at this illustration of IPPF. It depicts the IPPF structure and its various elements. You can see that the outermost layer is the mission, showing the place of the mission as the whole purpose of doing all that, followed by mandatory guidance as the backbone with which most of the mission will be achieved, followed closely by the recommended guidance as the limbs or tools to support the backbone. The point is that if we break IPPF, then we will have something like this. IPPF is equal to mission plus mandatory guidance plus recommended guidance. Mandatory guidance and recommended guidance. Let's bring back the illustration, the IPPF. You can see that right after the overarching outer circle of the mission, the next half of the illustration is mandatory guidance, which, as the name suggests, contain the mandatory elements of the IPPF, which are core principles for the professional practice of internal auditing. From here on, we will call them core principles, the definition of internal auditing, code of ethics, and international standards for the professional practice of internal auditing. From here on, we will call them standards. Mandatory guidance is developed following an established due diligence process, which includes a period of public exposure for stakeholder input. Out of these 4 elements of mandatory guidance, we will discuss 3 that are core principles, definition of internal auditing, and the standards in section 1, and the remaining code of ethics in section 4. Recommended guidance. Recommended guidance includes implementation and supplemental guidance. Implementation guidance is designed to help internal auditors understand how to apply and conform with the requirements of mandatory guidance. You see that it goes hand in hand with the mandatory guidance. And supplemental guidance provides additional information, advice, and best practices for providing internal audit services. It supports these standards by addressing topical areas and sector-specific issues in more detail than implementation guidance, and is endorsed by the IIA through formal review and approval processes. We will refer more from recommended guidance wherever needed throughout the course. A lot of the explanations that you will be getting would be based on implementation guidance. Now, in your mind, you can create a distinction between the mandatory guidance and recommended guidance as mandatory guidance is equal to what must be done and achieved, focused on the word must, that means mandatory, and recommended guidance equal to how that can be done and achieved best. I hope the distinction is clear. Let's see you in the next lesson.